BA Part 1. At first, a very nice morning, a very warm morning to all of you. It's a very pleasant atmosphere when the cold wave has died down and there is not so much chill. The atmosphere, the weather is very sound. It's a lovely weather and we all are waiting anxiously for the great day, that is 14th January, that is Makar Sankranti, when we will be celebrating Makar Sankranti and we will be waiting for the sun to cross the Makar line, Makar Rekha, and it will be a very pleasant time. Dear friends, in some of my videos, I have tried my level best to introduce you to the origin, to the growth and development of English language from its very beginning up to the modern age, up to the present time. We have discussed it sometimes threadbarely, sometimes in a nutshell, or sometimes briefly. We have seen that how English has its origin in AD 449, and at that time it has no standard form. It was a very inflectional language. It has 4 dialects like Northumbrian, Mercian, Kentish and West Saxon, and in Middle English we have the 5 dialects, that is Northern, Southern, East Midland, West Midland and Kentish. And when it comes to the modern time, English language got a standard form, and now English language becomes an analytic language, and it has its own pronunciation, it has its own grammar, it has its own rules and regulations which have got received. So that is the RP pronunciation, or that is RP English. Now it comes to literature. Every language has a very rich literature. If you have to find out, or if you have to say how good, how important, how valuable, how significant a particular language is, you have to judge it on the anvil of literature. As you know that in villages or in countryside, if you have to find out how rich a farmer is, how rich a जमींदार is, people say कि जो धान का आंगन होता है वो पुआल से पहचाना जाता है, कि कितना पुआल उसके घर में है, कितना हस्त उसके घर में है, इससे पता चलता है कि उसके यहाँ धान कितना हुआ है, वो कितना रिच जमींदार है या कितना रिच फार्मर है, कितना रिच कृषक है. Likewise, if you have to judge a language, अगर आपको किसी भाषा को जज करना होता है कि वो भाषा कितनी समृद्ध है, how rich is that particular language is, you have to go for its literature, the literary activities which have taken place in that particular language. So if we judge English language on this anvil, अगर आप इस कसौटी पर अंग्रेजी भाषा को कसते हैं, we notice that English has a very vast literature. It has a very significant literature, a very important literature. It has a very monumental literature. English language, no doubt, I have told you, or the history says it, that it was a time when, from the literary point of view, the Old English was a dark phase, a dark age, because no great or significant literary activities takes place during that period because of the lack of patronage, because of the lack of the court patronage. But when the literary activities started taking place in language, English language produced a variety of literary activities. Writers have done human services to make English language a significant language, a very important language. So the seed of literature has been planted. जो साहित्य का बीज था वो बीज बोया गया, and that seed of literature in English language cropped up. It crops up, and bit by bit, gradually and gradually, slowly and slowly, that tiny plant becomes a very colossal tree, having different branches. And no doubt, almost all those branches have not come to that plant of literature at one time. It is not possible. So, during different phases, from time to time, different branches, different tufts came to the very plant of English literature, and that literature in English have got a very colossal form presently. Now we have different genres in literature. लिटरेचर की, साहित्य की बहुत सारी विधाएं होती हैं, and that is known as genres, G-E-N-R-E-S. At first, it is believed or it is said that literature was divided into two genres, prose and poetry. And later on, a new variety, a new genre came into existence, that was the drama. Then prose have got bifurcated, you can say. Prose have got different sub-branches, you can say, like novel, story writing, short story writing, novel writing, travelogue, memoir, biography, autobiography, essay writing, memoirs, etc. and etc. Poetry too have got sub branches also. Poetry have also got some varieties also, and we have at present epic poems, we have ballads, we have lyrics, odes, elegy, sonnet, etc. etc. Then the very fact or the very idea or question that crops up in our mind is this: what is poetry? कविता क्या है? Poetry क्या है? तो dear students or dear friends, poetry is an emotional outburst. Poetry एक emotional outburst है. This whole world, this whole nature, this whole universe is poetry. ये पूरी जो कायनात है, ये जो पूरी प्रकृति है, ये पूरी प्रकृति ही कविता है. Nature itself is poetry. God has made this poetry, the poetry of nature, very beautiful, and it never fades away. This poetry of nature never withers. It goes on beautifying itself on its own. The saint, the rishi, the saint, the rishi says, Pashya devasya kavyam. Pashya devasya kavyam न जिर्यति न ममार. देखो, ये जो देवताओं की कविता है, जो प्रकृति है, जो देवताओं की कविता है, ये न कभी बूढ़ी होती है, न कभी मरती है. This whole life is the outcome of poetry. So human beings pass through different emotions, different feelings, and those feelings and emotions get collected, get stored into the mind of the poet. It goes on. The process of the storing of the emotions of particular emotions is a continual process. It goes on, and a time comes when it gets filled, and a similar type of stimuli helps the outburst of that particular emotion. आदमी इमोशनल प्राणी है. He has his feelings. So different types of emotions have different effect upon him, and a similar type of emotion when comes out of his mind, poetry comes. Poetry flows. Poetry gushes out. How poetry gushes out? As the water gushes out from the mountains, from the laps of mountains. Poetry gushes out. Poetry flows out through the mouth of the poet. Poetry gushes out, or poetry flows out of the mouth of a poet's pen. It gets sprayed. Poetry gets sprayed upon the paper as water gets sprayed on the surface of the earth. Wordsworth, when he defines poetry, says that poetry is the spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings and emotions recollected in tranquility. What is poetry? Poetry is the spontaneous. It is the spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings and emotions. Overflow. When the poet's mind fails to store those emotions, when the cup of poet's mind fails to store the tea of poetry, and that cup brims, poetry flows out of that cup. That is the heart, that is the mind of the poet. Keats says poetry should come to the mind of the poet, or poetry comes to the mind of the poet as new leaves come to the trees. जैसे पेड़ पर नए पत्ते आते हैं, ठीक उसी तरीके से कवि के दिमाग में कविता आती है, कवि के दिमाग में कविता का जन्म होता है. Then Shelley, what does Shelley say? How he defines poetry? Shelley says poetry is indeed something divine. Poetry is a divine activity. Poetry is not like reasoning, a power to be exerted according to the determination of the will. This poetry arises from within, like the color of a flower which fades and changes as it is developed. Poetry is the record of the best and happiest moments and the happiest and the best minds. Poetry is a heavenly thing. You can't make a poet. It is your emotions, it is your feelings, it is your pain, it is your suffering that makes a poet. In Hindi literature, Sumitraనందन पंत says, वियोगी होगा पहला कवि, आह से उपजा होगा गान, निकलकर आंखों से चुपचाप बही होगी कविता अनजान. What is this वियोगी होना? This is the process of suffering. This is the process of witnessing the pain, experiencing the pain, feeling the pain of the humanity. How you must have heard about Valmiki. Who was he? Before becoming Valmiki, he was a dacoit. His purpose, his objective of at that time, the objective of his life, the aim of his life is to loot, is to murder the travelers, is to loot the passerbys, and he was very happy doing that. He was very happy doing that thing. He has killed so many people. He has looted so many people. But one incident, the incident that was the shooting of the bird, which he has himself shot, the whipping of the female bird, the female conch bird, changes the very setup of his mind, his very mindset. And what happens? It is said that the shlokas in the form of poetry gushes out of his mouth. कविता श्लोक के रूप में उनके मुंह से फूट पड़ती है, अनायास, spontaneously. He does not make any attempt for that. He does not try for that. He does not go for that. It happens on its own. That is the spontaneity. That is the divine quality of poetry. The poetry comes to you. The poetry comes to the poet through some source. And that source is, of course, heavenly. That source is, of course, a divine source. Coleridge, in his Biographia Literaria, says or defines poetry like this: a poem is that species of composition which is opposed to work of science by promising for its immediate object pleasure, not truth, and from all other species having this object in common with it is discriminated by proposing to itself such delight from the whole as is compatible with a distinct gratification from each component part. Coleridge differentiates poetry from the scientific activity. Poetry, he says, is not a science. It is not a scientific work. The very purpose of poetry is to provide pleasure, is to soothe the mind, is to make the mind peaceful, is to provide peace to mind. It's a lovely activity. It is an activity which solves, which removes the boredom, the pall from life. It changes the color of mind. It changes the color of thinking. It instills, it injects life. It makes the life colorful. It makes the life beautiful. It makes the life livable and lovable. It makes the life lovely. It makes the life pleasant. A spontaneity, naturalness, negation of intellectual activity, extraordinariness, these are the salient features of good poetry. Imagination plays a very, very vital role in poetry. Spontaneity, naturalness, negation of intellectual activity, all these things are the very ingredients, are the very features, are the very salient features of poetry. It means, in the absence of these things, you can't write a poem. You can't imagine about a poem. No doubt, in different ages, poetry takes different forms, you can say, because the poetry which has the English poetry which starts in Old English period is not the same in its nature in modern poetry at modern age. This means, here I want to say is this, that according to the age, according to the circumstances, poetry too changes its nature. However, the essence remains the same. जो पोएट्री का एसेंस है वो वही रहता है. It does not change. But poetry, all of you must be very much interested to know that what was that particular period, what was that particular age when poetry started its journey in English literature. Poetry in English language has got its birth. Who were the people who started this pious work of writing poetry? So dear students, I must tell you that poetry has its birth with the moment when man has got language. So with the very birth of language, we find the very birth of poetry. And poetry in English language has started when the Anglo-Saxons come to England. When Anglo-Saxons, when the history of Anglo-Saxons begins upon that particular area of Britain that has been inhabited by the Celtic people, from that very period, from that very time, poetry in English has its origin, or poetry in English has started. No doubt. At that time, poetry has its own nature. Poetry has its own composition. But at different ages, that means in 14th century, poetry has its own form. In 15th, it has its own taste, you can say. In 16th, 17th, in 18th, 19th, 20th centuries, 21st centuries, it has its own taste and its own flavor. So we will discuss about the different tastes, about the different flavors of different trends, you can say. That is flavor or taste, it means different trends. So we will discuss about the different trends in poetry at different ages in our next videos. Till then, try to go through the video, try to listen to it carefully, try to get some valuable things which I am trying my level best to provide to you people. Subscribe this channel, make some comments, send your comments through your suggestions. Your suggestions are always welcome. So till then, enjoy a lot, enjoy your life, be cautious also, because this corona pandemic has not died completely. It is there, the vaccine is there, and almost the things which have been asked you to do, you must go by, you must abide by the government. Have a very healthy time, a very sound days. God bless you. Thank you.